What's up, guys? We're Morbid Curiosities, your favorite horror movie podcast, and we're back with another episode. I'm one of your hosts, Nicholas Ewers, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays to
Oh
everybody.
ho ho ho! Merry Slaymas.
Oh, and joining me today is a very special guest, Santa Claus. I talked about him on the whole last episode, the Silent Night, Deadly Night episode, how, spoilers, he's not in that movie, but
Oh ho ho! They approached me, but I was busy.
But yeah, I was able to snag the actual Santa for this one. So Merry Christmas to you guys. Santa, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm beat this time of year. This is really the only time of year where I'm busy. And then the rest of the year I get to chill. But now it's just nonstop, man. It's I kind of just ready for Christmas to be over, if you know what I mean.
Real quick, top 3 horror movies from Santa. Can you throw them out there real quick?
Well, Home Alone is terrifying because a child gets left alone and the parents are so terrible and those parents deserve coal, that's for sure.
Mhm.
Let's see, what are some other scary movies? Uh Dinosaurs are scary, so Jurassic Park, like I was there, like people don't talk about how Santa, I'm immortal, so I've been here since
Oh,
before there were like other people.
you
And I
preceded people.
Yeah, I was here for the dinosaurs, and those motherfuckers were scary. So, and Spielberg really tapped into that. And then I don't know, like Halloween or something. Michael Myers, he's a naughty boy.
Competing holiday. Yeah, I'm surprised Nightmare Before Christmas isn't up there since you're an actual like you're a victim in that movie.
Well, it's an intense scene, but it's just a very creative concept, and I love what they did with it. I love what not Tim Burton did with that movie.
All right. Well, yeah, Henry Selick, I think, is his name.
Yeah, of course I remember saying. I know everyone. I have a list. I just had to. You try keeping the name of every human in your brain and animal. I know the names of every animal, even if the animals aren't named. I know them individually.
What's the name of my dog?
Their real name or their slave name.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, I think
Because his
Santa's.
chosen name is is Henrietta. So or it's.
Oh, wow. Well, I think that's all the time we've got for Santa. Well,
Oh ho ho ho.
and also joining me on the podcast is the host of the These Guys Got Juice podcast. It's the Duggernaut himself, Doug Davenport. How are you doing, Doug? Sorry
What's
you
up,
had to
guys?
bear witness to all of that.
No, no, I'm a big fan. Yeah, some of his choices for like horror movies were a little surprising because like as a kid I thought Jurassic Park was scary, but I don't even think of like Home Alone. That's not a horror movie.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's not really that scary, but I mean, he's kind of a strange guy. He demanded that you didn't talk the whole time he was in the studio. I thought that was a weird power move. He demanded that he be the only guest on this episode, but he was only available for 5 minutes. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just kind of hid and like didn't tell him that I was also here since he didn't want me on the episode, and now I'm free to kind of speak my mind now. But I'm not gonna hold it against him. He's eccentric, but he's a brilliant guy. It's kind of like we just give our favorite directors a pass sometimes because they're like, yeah, they're kind of quirky, but it's like, oh, is James Cameron? Does he have an ego?
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, he makes those movies, so he delivers.
Yeah, I heard he's like a James Cameron with the personality of David O. Russell, which can be very complicated.
He just starts throwing shit at the elves and yelling at them like that. I wouldn't want to work for him. I like the work that he puts out, but like if there was a job opening at the North Pole and they're like, yeah, we need like new elves, I'm like, that almost sounds as bad as working like in an Amazon factory.
Yeah, or for like Ellen DeGeneres or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, shots fired at all the people on this Christmas episode. But hell yeah, guys, Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on the podcast, Doug.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I feel like I'm finally in the Christmas spirit. I wasn't I not that I like am anti-Christmas. I just like kind of wasn't feeling it this year, and then now that maybe just because it's the week of, but I mean we'll get to it. I feel like this movie kind of did push me in a Christmassy mood.
Have you done any Christmas movie watching in the past like month or so?
Just like what's been on, like what my parents have on, so it'll just be like like classic movie shit like White Christmas or It's a Wonderful Life, which yeah,
Jim
is a good.
Carrey's Grinch, of course,
Yeah, my
the movie
dad
he
hates Jim.
directed.
My dad hates Jim Carrey, so that would not be on unless I put it on. Um,
Oh wow.
and I haven't even put on like any Shane Black movies. That's how like not Christmassy I had been feeling. Like I usually get like
Mm.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I mean, I watched his newer movie, which it has a scene where like I guess yeah, that is a Christmas movie. Because it's legally it's Shane Black, it has to be. But that movie didn't like put me in the mood. I wasn't like, yeah, Christmas.
Well, I'd recommend The Predator if you want to get in a Christmas Black type of mode. I think that would be the perfect movie to watch.
I still have that's his one movie that I haven't seen. Uh, it's weird that that's like black mark on his filmography when he was in the original Predator, and then he becomes a filmmaker that's celebrating his own right. So you're like, oh, he's gonna do a Predator movie. That sounds like a great fit, and then the movie's not good. Like, or maybe it is. Maybe I'll be like a defender. I'll watch it. I'll be like, you guys just didn't get it.
Yeah. I recently I had a Christmas movie marathon the other day. Love Actually ended up on. That's a pretty fun movie. I enjoy that one. I don't know if you've seen it or what your thoughts on that are.
I've seen it. Some of it, like I feel like some movies that I like am introduced to through like via a parent, like my mom would watch that one a lot, and then like I saw that movie before I even like was into like romantic movies or anything. So I was just like, that's just some boring shit. And then watching it even later, I'm like, oh, is that effect clouding my judgment? Because I'm like, I like these kind of movies now, but then like I find like the sentimentality of parts of it like kind of annoying. I don't know. There's not even like one thing about it that rubs me the wrong way. It's just like certain movies that kind of like emotional stuff will like work for me. I'll be like, I'll turn into a total sap. I'll be like, oh, this love is beautiful, and then other movies I'll see it and I'll be like, fuck off.
Yeah. And in line with awful Christmas movies, in that same day I watched Jingle All the Way, a movie that people seem to revile, but
You mean great Christmas movies? That's like one of the best.
it's so funny. I was watching it with Rosia, and we were laughing, like, often. It just I mean,
Put down the
it's
cookie.
great. Yeah, the fucking explosive, package bit that Sinbad has going
Sinbad
throughout the
commits
movie.
domestic terrorism. And
Yeah.
it's played like a Looney Tunes gag.
Arnold assaults a little girl to, like, get a ball out of her mouth. It's a wild movie.
Yeah, Phil Hartman's like trying to cuck Arnold, like he just like bangs all the neighborhood
Mhm.
moms. Like that's a plot point in a kids movie.
Yeah, that movie, great Christmas movie. And then I in that same weekend, I got to the movie that we're talking about today, and not to have a sloppy segue, but I
That
had a
felt natural to me.
yeah, as natural as it comes. But I had a great time with Anna and the Apocalypse too. I'd never seen it before, and I was like, this movie got me the most in the Christmas spirit. I didn't realize how hard this would go into like being a Christmas movie. And I mean, there's no point where they unwrap presents or leave milk and cookies for Santa or anything like that. But it is like it just is soaked in the Christmas spirit all the way through, and it really brought it out of me. You were kind of alluding to the same thing too?
Yeah, I fired it up because I remember hearing about this when it came out. I mean, like a zombie comedy Christmas musical is, the very unique thing. And one of my favorite movies when I was younger was a British zombie uh, zombie comedy, Shaun of the Dead. So like that, it kind of was on my radar when it came out, and then I just never saw it, and I forgot that it even was a musical until like the very beginning. But yeah, it got me in the Christmas mood, and we'll talk about it like more in depth in spoilers, but like just vaguely I want to say that like the thing that a lot of Christmas movies, that the ones that do work for me, like I would say a recent classic Christmas movie, The Holdovers, which I should probably watch this week. Like there's like a melancholy to that movie, and like I feel like I'm like, yes, Christmas is sad. Like there should be like a sadness underlying
Mhm.
the thing, and that makes it feel more real. I mean, that's what like Charlie Brown Christmas. If people haven't watched in a while, like that, Charlie Brown's a really fucking sad kid. So like that, that's a sad short, and like I feel like a lot of my favorite Christmas things do have like some kind of like, even It's a Wonderful Life. It was like tapping into like, it's like, yeah, Christmas does make you want to kill yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I vibe with the Charlie Brown Christmas. I just watched that and the Charlie Brown New Year special like a day or two ago, and both are like, even for the melancholy feel of the Christmas one, both have a sweetness to it that I love. The Holdovers, watch that around Thanksgiving along with Catch Me If You Can and Gremlins. That
Gremlins,
was
that's a great Christmas movie.
another one through and through, just Christmas soaked all over this movie. I've heard people say like, "What, Gremlins? Gremlins, is that a Christmas movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, have you watched it?
It's
It's like
baked
in its
into it.
blood." Yeah.
Shout out Joe Dante. I love it's they're making a new Gremlins, but it's not gonna be Joe Dante. They're getting fucking Christopher Columbus, who did the Home Alone movies are good.
Mhm.
Like Christopher Columbus can make like a good family film that's entertaining, but like I feel like you want Joe Dante's like a live action Looney Tunes filmmaker, and I feel like that's what you want for a Gremlin. Like I feel like there's just no point to doing another Gremlins if you're not gonna get Joe Dante.
He said he wants to do it to kind of make amends for Gremlins 2. I guess he really hates that movie and wants to kind of course correct, at least from what I've heard. Columbus did Harry Potter, though, right? He'd be
The
bringing in
first
some of that,
one,
the
yeah.
first two, I think,
The
right?
first two, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be bringing in that, and those movies have like some monster work, some kind of scary for kid elements. Maybe, I don't know, he'll be bringing something interesting with the things he learned from working on Harry Potter. That would be my best hope.
I think he could bring some kind of magic to it. Like I said, like he's like good filmmaker in his own right. I just I it th- there's like, it's not just the zany like cartoonness. There's like there is a dark streak to Joe Dante. Like putting a mogwai in the like blender or the refrigerator in it, or not the microwave, and exploding it, like dark shit like that. I'm like, is Christopher
Mhm.
Columbus gonna have that in him? Also, I still don't think like we shouldn't forgive him about what he did when he colonized the New World. It's like we're just gonna let him get a free pass for what he did to the Indians. Like,
Yeah, that is a very good point, and we have been ignoring it for far too long, but thank you for bringing it up. We can finally, maybe call for justice right here on the podcast.
yeah, not to be that friend who's too woke, but it's like, come on, guys, we're just gonna ignore the elephant in the room.
Mhm. Um, to touch back on Anna and the Apocalypse, you had mentioned that you had forgotten that it was a musical until um you started watching it. Same thing for me. The first song kicked in and I was just like, "Oh yeah, this is a musical, right?" And I had the biggest smile on my face for that whole first song. I was just so happy to be watching a musical. It felt better than watching Wicked for Good, honestly.
Okay, are we gonna crack that open right now? This is straight up better than Wicked for Good.
This is functionally a better musical than Wicked for Good, I think.
I
Um,
That's such like, because this movie, and we'll go through it, like it hits the emotion, like there's such an interesting tightrope walk that like genre blending has to do. Like, one, if you're already doing like a zombie comedy, that's a tricky like tonal thing to navigate. That's not easy because you have to decide like how serious do you want to take the zombie stuff, how funny is it going to be. And then you add musical on top of that. That's trick because musicals you have to calibrate different. Like a stage musical could be differently toned, calibrated than when you film it, because then you have to make decisions about like how dramatic do you want certain parts to be. And I feel like Anna and the Apocalypse nails it, where Wicked for Good fumbled a lot of those moments for me where I was like, this should be her. Spoilers for Wicked for Good, but her sister gets crushed by a house, and it like kind of doesn't matter. Like it feels like it barely matters to any of the characters in it, and it's like, oh, that's just taking me out of the movie now, because like I'm not buying the emotions of these people anymore.
It's so weird because I know there's source material for this that has existed for a while, but I didn't realize how forced all of the Wizard of Oz stuff was going to be in Wicked for Good. It like
It was weird,
and
yeah.
and Anna and the Apocalypse is a movie much smaller scale. Doesn't feel like it's really forcing any of its ideas uh into it. I know it's not juggling, the Wizard of Oz and the whole legacy that carries, but it just Anna and the Apocalypse is just a way better experience, I
But
think.
but but a lesser movie could feel forced with the, like, musical element, because like, I was curious, like, from the first song of, like, okay, they're doing this now, but, like, once we start introducing zombie stuff, will the song start to feel out of place? And the answer is no, it doesn't. Like, it still feels like part of it, even if the tone, like, the movie gets darker as it goes along as you get more zombie stuff, but the songs still remain. Like, like, I feel like that's it's tricky to do that kind of tonal tightrope walk, but they pull it off.
Yeah, and in general, I don't think many horror comedies really like successfully pull it off, especially to like wide appeal. I'm
Some of them are
thinking
just bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say most of them are bad, especially, like, there's Little Monsters, that's a Lupita Nyong'o zombie comedy with, like, Josh Gad. That one, the humor didn't work for me at all in that, but I'm thinking, like, Shaun of the Dead, Cabin in the Woods, What We Do in the Shadows, those are 3 that
Yeah.
come to mind that I'm like, "Okay, those are horror comedies that just work, people love them, people remember them." One of them even got a spin-off TV show that's incredibly successful. But those are almost like the exception to the rule, I'd say.
Yeah, because a lot of them don't know when to have the like, even just a regular horror movie that isn't advertising itself as comedic, a lot of times they don't know how to incorporate moments of humor into it. Like, they almost think like they're being like Sam Raimi-esque, and then it's like just comes off as cringe. Like, I'm thinking of like It Chapter 2, when they try to like be cutesy in moments of that, like with like there's like a needle drop that is like really atonal, like as someone's getting barfed like black sludge in their face, and I'm like, this isn't working for me.
Yeah, It Chapter 2 in general just feels like a big flop. It's like a wet fart of a movie, kind of,
Well, it's just Muschietti was saving all his sauce for the Flash, so
for The Flash.
he's like, I gotta lock in for this movie, so I don't actually care about fucking Pennywise.
Yeah, and then that movie just completely went to shit. Who knows if he's even doing a Batman movie at this point? I haven't heard anything about that.
James Gunn has forgotten that Muschietti exists. Like,
Yeah.
he'll talk about other stuff coming up, and you're like, yeah, so what about Batman? He'll be like, anyway, and then he just talks about Peacemaker or something.
Yeah, it was almost just like a verbal promise or something he made. He's like, "Yeah, you'll do a Batman movie. Don't worry. Like, you're all good." He's gonna be directing It Chapter 3 in a couple of years.
I thought you said James Gunn. So, like, James
Oh,
Gunn's gonna do that chapter, and I was like, oh, well, that could be interesting.
yeah,
Did
maybe.
you like the Supergirl trailer? Not to get too far into DC stuff, but what'd you think of that?
I haven't seen it. I actually didn't know there was a Supergirl trailer out.
Yeah, it's out. It's the first, because it's the first thing not directed by Jay. Because even like the animated thing, and then Peacemaker, Superman, all of the DCU stuff so far has been James Gunn. So this is Craig Giuseppe. Robbie, or however you say his name. He did I, Tanya,
Oh,
that,
nice.
that Pamela Anderson miniseries. I forgot what that one was called, and then he also did what Cruella. I feel like I like none of those live action Disney things. I'm not going to the bat for them, but like that one at least like has a take. Like it's not just retelling the story. Like it's doing like a kind of weird thing, and stylistically, I think Cruella is kind of interesting. So getting that guy to do Supergirl, that could be fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen Cruella. It's always interested me though. I was a big fan of I, Tonya when that came out though. I've seen that a couple of times. I think that's a really fun movie. Probably one of my favorite Margot Robbie performances.
Yeah, I'd say that's I mean, because she has that performance, and then most of her other performances, even when it's not a DC thing, feels like a variation of Harley Quinn. So,
Yeah.
like I, Tanya is one of the ones that feels like, no, that's like a unique performance she's giving.
And then man, I don't know if you've seen her in A Big Bold Beautiful Journey.
I just saw the trailer. Is she good in it?
No, she's pretty flat. I have no idea what performance she thought she was giving in that movie. She seems like so checked out. Eh, Colin Farrell is doing a similar thing, but it works with him and his vibe. I almost feel like Margot Robbie's just miscast for that movie a little bit.
She seemed out of place in the trailer because I was like, "Oh, a Coconut movie with Colin Farrell," and then I like Margot Robbie, so I was like, "What? Oh, what kind of chemistry are they gonna have?" And then based on the little scenes you have, I'm like, "Are they supposed to have chemistry? Like, maybe is this an anti-chemistry movie?"
She feels like she wants to walk out of the movie as I'm watching it. I have no idea what's happening with that thing, but I don't
That's
even know
interesting.
how we got on Margot Robbie. But speaking of I don't know, foreign actresses, I guess,
Ella Hunt.
Ella Hunt, yeah. We'll hop into spoilers, I guess, for Anna and the Apocalypse. So guys, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I think we're both positive on the movie at the very least.
Yeah, I would recommend like if you don't like musicals, I don't think this is going to change. So like yeah, be open to that like cuz I think if you're not expecting that and then you don't like those kind of movie like cuz at first I was like, "Oh, so is this going to be like zombie high school musical?" And I say that as someone who's never watched a single high school musical. I think I've seen a video of like the
It
one
kind of is, I would
it kind it
say.
kind it kinda is, yeah, but
Yeah.
in a good way, but if that sounds, like, utterly repulsive to you, I don't know that the movie when I mean, I feel like it's just so successful in, like, the emotional elements in the character. There is one character that I feel like that they kinda don't have a full idea for, but, like, mostly, like, the emotional stuff sells it, so I just think it's a good holiday movie and it's heartfelt, but yeah, if you're just, like, allergic to musicals, maybe don't watch it, but it's on Tubi, so, I mean, you don't have to spend anything to watch it.
Yeah, and maybe give it a shot too if you hate musicals. The songs are really catchy, I
They're
think.
fun.
They are. I will say I watched it with my girlfriend, and I think she was, like, repulsed by this movie and the musical numbers, and but
There's, like, a dorkiness to it because, like, because like, even down to the choreography and the ones that they're dancing for, it's like it's not like they're doing purposely bad choreography, but there's like the characters are almost kind of like the way they say, like dance like no one's watching, where you kind of have no shame and you just like flail yourself in a like awkward way. Like some of the characters are doing that in certain musical numbers, but it it
I love
it
it.
it it's very charming because I'm like that feel it's like a dorkiness that makes endears me to the character because that feels like character motivated dorkiness where I'm just like, yeah, she would dance like this.
Yeah, so the song that you're talking about specifically, it's turning my life around. We'll try to get the plot in order, listeners, but we'll also hop around a little bit. Turning my life around is the one you're talking about, right? When they're like dancing in the graveyard, and uh,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
that is one of my favorite musical numbers in this movie, if not my favorite. I was so delighted
I
by
think
that.
it's my favorite just based on the choreography and like the like energy of it.
And it's so catchy. It's like, "Oh, it's a brand new day," something like that.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and Anna is, like, yeah, doing air guitar in the graveyard, and they both start, like, dancing towards each other. Even John, when he falls in that sequence, it's genuinely funny. When John is introduced in that song too, like, I got delighted because he kinda just pops up and he's, like, so cheery to wake up and all this carnage is happening in the background, and by the time they're in the graveyard, I'm like, "We're in full Night of the Living Dead homage territory," and I'm just a sucker for a horror homage at this point, you
When
know,
it's well
ra
done, yeah, because it's not if you see if you get it, but it's also not it doesn't feel like it's stopping the movie because it feels organic. Somehow it feels organic that these characters would dance into a graveyard
Yeah.
on their way to school.
Yeah, it just all of the dance numbers feel so natural and baked in, and we'll get into it, but there's a moment later where we kind of get to be the audience on the outside of the dance number, and a character is about to break in. He's about to fight zombies, and for a second he starts singing a reprisal of his old song, but there's no music. He's just kind of
Yeah.
singing it to himself, and I'm like, is that the reality of what's happening? Are all of these people just singing aloud with no music playing? Is that the way the
Yeah,
musical
because
numbers
because
are operating in this world?
that's musicals get to have fun with, like, futzing with the reality of, like, how in on it are because I some people say that, like, if the music is actually playing in the reality I know people who are staunch, like, go by the definition of, like, that's not a musical, like, if it's, like, in-universe music that people hear, that's different than, like, the reality breaking of, like, this is, like, kind of imagined in their minds. I feel like you can, like, do both, like, in, like
Yeah, we discussed this in our These Guys Got Juice Wicked episode, but like the musical numbers in that movie are like diegetic. Like they sing and communicate via musical. Wizard of Oz as well.
yeah, people are aware of the performances in it. So it's like, are you saying those aren't musicals? Like, it's like, or even my favorite Phantom of the Paradise, like, they're literally musicians in it, like auditioning and stuff. So I'm like, that's a musical. I don't know. Like, some people get weird about definition stuff. Also, why we're on the stuff, Sinners is a musical. Fuck people who say it is, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I wrestle with this one in my head a little bit. If like Inside Llewyn Davis is a musical, because like it's weird. I consider the Ballad of Wallace Island to be a musical, but Inside Llewyn Davis, for some reason, maybe it's because it's not wall to wall music. There's a lot of really quiet character moments that it feels like such a blend in like a good way of drama and musical that like it almost doesn't stand. It's kinda like a modest musical in a way.
I feel like the Coens are good at, like, blending in that way where it's hard to pin down on one thing. Because even recently, I've just been doing a Coen I mean, we both, I think, just because of Blank Check, been watching Coen Brothers movies. I was rewatching Buster Scruggs, and I forgot how much
Great
music.
movie. I watched it for the first time. Great
Yeah.
movie, man.
Buster Scruggs fucks. Like, the first time I watched it, I bounced off a couple of the segments, and then on rewatch, I'm like, "Oh, these are all bangers," and they break into song in quite a few of them. Like, or not break into song, the characters are singing in like a good number of the segments. So I'm like, "Is that a musical?" Because they are like making allusions to like that's like a genre of western, like the singing cowboy. You know, you have Tim Blake Nelson like doing songs as he's on his horse and stuff. But I'm like they're good at like blending genre in that way where it's hard to pin down where it's like I don't it doesn't feel like a musical, but they are doing music in it.
Yeah, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" feels like their true musical, I would say.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, shout out to the Coens, man. Listeners, if you're not a fan of the Coens or you just haven't seen any of the movies we're talking about, do yourself a favor and just spend a weekend watching all of these. Throw No Country in there, throw Big Lebowski and Raising Arizona in there, get like a good mix of
Yeah.
their filmography. Yeah.
Even watch Hudsucker. Go do them
Ah,
all.
I love Hudsucker. Great movie. I'm gonna
Hell
probably
yeah.
rewatch that around New Year's.
That's true. It's a New Year's movie.
Yeah. let's dive into the plot of this thing a little bit, see how much we can fully take it down. The movie begins with Anna, her best friend John, and Anna's dad driving in a car. She's driving him to school. And one thing I like, there's a CDC like news bulletin playing, and they're like, the flu-like virus is actually, reanimating and then just cuts off the radio. Anna does, and
I like that thing in I mean, like, it's a bit that a lot of movies have done. Even Shaun of the Dead has, like, in the background, there's, like, escalating of the, like, virus spreading, and they're just oblivious to it. Like, I don't know, that works for me, like, pretty much all the time.
Yeah, and this movie feels so indebted to Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
Both
absolutely.
both I think filmed in the UK. One is like Britain, one is Scotland, but both UK productions, I want to say.
Yeah.
This one is an indie film. I'm not too sure. Was Shaun of the Dead an indie or was that a studio production? Are you too familiar with that?
I'm not certain about that. Because I mean, it's one of Edgar Wright's, like, first thing, so it feels
It
like it
feels
should
like
be an indie,
It
but
feels like it
I
has a
it
bigger budget than this one, though. Even though
yeah.
this does a good job of hiding its low budget during its musical numbers, I'd say.
It does a good job of conveying scale, even though it's, like, clear they can't do the same amount of, like, zombie stuff and gore that a, like, bigger movie could do, but it doesn't really feel small.
Yeah, even though we're only getting, I'd say, 2 locations. There's the school and the bowling alley mostly, and then a little bit of shit out in the streets.
Right, like, there's, like, kind of, like, just 3 locations basically, but, like, it still does feel it feels like believably something that this is happening everywhere.
Yeah, and I feel like the intro does a good job of introducing us to all of our characters. We've got, the 3 that I mentioned already. We get a good idea of their relationship. Anna and John seem pretty close. Anna and her dad start to come to blows a little bit because Anna says she's not going to uni. She's going to be traveling instead, and her dad's pissed about that and is like, "What would your mother think?" and all that. And
What would your mom think?
what would your mom think? Yeah. I love the accents. But uh and we meet Steph. She's having issues with her girlfriend. I don't know if her girlfriend's able to like visit for Christmas or something. And she's also battling with this teacher, somebody named Mr. Shepherd, over the school like newspaper or something like that, the school blog. And
Yeah.
then we get into our first musical number, Breakaway, a number that I liked. And in that process, we meet Lisa and Chris, I think is her boyfriend's name.
Yes, yeah. Do you think Lisa, maybe it's just me, she kinda has a Nora eyes, like Mikey Madison. She like, I
Yeah.
knew she wasn't
hmm
Mikey Madison, but I was like, you have similar eyes to her."
Yeah, she has a Mikey Madison vibe for sure. I, for a second, was kind of hoping it was Mikey Madison. I was like, yeah, let's see
Oh
her
oh,
go buck
Nora's
wild.
in this? Whoa, fuck.
Yeah, Oscar winning actress Honora. This would have been before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that was her big break, I think.
Yeah, that would have been before. I don't really, and I feel like it's almost to this movie's benefit. Like, I don't really know or have any baggage with any of these actors, even though the one Ella Hunt almost looked like a British actress I know, but then I looked it up. I was like, okay, no, that's not the girl from Industry or Black Bag. It looked she had like a similar vibe to her, but it was like, no, this is. I think she's just like a singer.
I noticed the same thing. I think her dad is maybe the only actor in here that's actually been in a bunch of other things, but it's a relatively unknown cast. Ella Hunt would go on to be in Dickinson, the Haley Steinfeld movie, speaking or TV show. Speaking of sinners,
I heard that's good. I haven't seen it.
yeah, heard it's pretty good too. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the first musical number that we see in this movie? Did you dig it?
I Yeah, I dig it. It definitely, like I was alluding to earlier. I was like, yeah, I do feel the like. I keep making this comparison, even though I've seen maybe like one High School Musical number, like the one where Zac Efron's like go walking on the walls or something, where he's doing an Inception.
We're
But
soaring, we're flying. I've seen all the High School Musicals. I will shamelessly admit
I
that,
mean,
and
maybe I want to watch them now because I that's the vibe I was getting from this first song, and I was like, I'm not hating this, so like maybe I'm into
yeah.
that.
I didn't. I mean, we were both younger when the High School Musical movies came out. I'm like slightly younger than you, but we were kind of that generation. And even back then, I didn't feel like those were bad movies with bad musical numbers. Maybe there's a decline as they go on, especially story wise. I think maybe they get a little lazy. There's one where they're just like all on vacation. It's not even in high school anymore.
Like, change the
But
name, guys. You can't do that.
yeah, but I when I say that this movie reminded me of High School Musical, I don't consider that to be a negative thing by any means.
Yeah, no, I'm using it as a positive comparison point to the point where I'm like, I should I watch the High School Musical movies?
Yeah, watch them and report back. I'd like to at least watch the first one. I think you might be kind of charmed. Vanessa Hudgens, she's great. Like I love her in Tick Tick Boom. I'm pretty sure you're a fan of that movie as
Oh,
well.
great, underrated. Yeah, probably one of the most undersung Netflix movies.
Exactly. One of the best things I think Netflix has put out. Like
One
I
of the things that, like, suffered the most from, like, because, like, that felt like it should have been, like, a more award season play, and it's like, oh, it just was kinda buried in Netflix. If it had had, like, a real release, maybe it coulda got some noms or something. I mean, I don't remember it getting nominated for anything, but it should've.
neither do I. I love that movie. It was my favorite movie of 2021, I think. I know I can be very positive and pretty generous to movies, especially nowadays and on this podcast, but Tick Tick Boom is like a very special movie to me. And I'm so surprised. I mean, it's Lin-Manuel Miranda and just like and it's on Netflix, and everyday people that I interact with who are totally fine with musicals and would love this and love Hamilton and Moana have just never heard of Tick Tick Boom. And when I say it to them, they are almost like, "That's not a movie."
And it's about, like, the guy it's about wrote a very popular like, Rent is very
Yeah.
popular, so
Yeah.
it's like, "You guys don't care about this?"
Yeah, it feels like at least at the time it should have been a more talked about movie. I mean, what was anybody really doing in 2021 anyway?
I was gonna say that everyone was at like, this there weren't I mean, movies did come out, like, there were good movies that year, but, like, that was there it wasn't, like, a normal year, and, like, this felt like it was like, "Oh, some real food here."
Yeah, and it came out on Thanksgiving or the day before or after. It came out on my birthday, which usually lands around Thanksgiving. And I was just, everyone should have been at home watching it, but Netflix does a terrible job with their movies. I mean, same thing when Glass Onion came out. It wasn't even the main page on Netflix. I mean, I haven't seen a fucking thing about Wake Up Dead Man anytime I open my Netflix app.
Which is crazy. That's like if I think of Netflix franchises, like that's the one that comes to mind, and it stars the guy who was most recently Bond. So like you think that
Yeah.
they would make a big deal out of that.
Yeah, these are the people that may be in control of Warner Brothers and HBO Max and everything that they
Ooh.
own going forward. So,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
yeah. But onto a positive note. Merry Christmas, guys. Special Christmas episode. um what's
Oh,
it
ho,
called?
ho, ho. Oh, whoa, Santa just like drove by the studio.
It almost felt threatening actually. He had a Molotov cocktail in his hand. I thought he was going to use it.
He made the same face of if you've ever seen that meme of Luigi in Mario Kart where he does like a side stare to someone, like when he turns his head and he looks like
Mhm.
really angry. Like he kind of looked like that.
And in all of this intro stuff, we meet this character Nick, who's kind of perving over Anna, but very quickly we're into the next musical number, which is Hollywood Ending. Probably this is up
It's
there.
probably the catchiest one, I would
Yeah.
say. Like there's not any songs in here that I don't like, but if I'm like, oh, if this was like a bigger movie, that would be the like radio hit. I feel like would be Hollywood Ending.
The accents are really working for me in the song. John's accent, when he comes in, he's like, "What was I thinking? This isn't dizzy. I'm way off script and losing the plot." I know I did it like a little wrong, but it's just
No,
like,
I thought he was here. Also, I love John. Like I think he's
yeah,
very endearing. I mean, it's a trope we see in a lot of movies where it's like the best friend, is in love with this girl, and like even if the like a lesser movie, I guess, yeah, that could come off feeling like cliche of like, oh, we're doing this again, but you feel for, like, I don't know, maybe because I have been that guy in life sometimes that I I could relate to him, but I think he does a good job of like the John's a guy you want to root for, and like you want to see him get with Anna because I'm just like, yeah, why he's a good guy.
I found him to be a very endearing character. I mean, Mr. Savage is the only character who I really wasn't too crazy about. He doesn't seem like the nicest fellow. He doesn't have the Christmas cheer, even though he's
You think there's
ironically
something off
putting on.
about that guy?
Yeah, he steals students' car keys. He's got a weird vibe.
I'm the headmaster.
He's like Severus Snape almost.
Like a less chilled Snape. I would say Snape has more chill
Yeah,
than
there is a point where
Mr.
he
Savage.
like it's implied that he allowed everybody trapped in the school or like who's like taking sanctuary in the school to be turned into zombies, and he like barricades himself. He seems
I
unhinged.
thought the reveal was gonna be when he lets like when they fight, he's like, "Oh, your parents are just in here," and he opens the door. That there was gonna be like some cannibalism like turn because he was like eating when they came in, and then I was like, "Oh shit, they're going that direction!" Like that he like ate the parents or something.
Yeah, I he he just makes a turn. It's like, dude, it's only been a day and you're already resorting to this. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that he only left Anna's dad alive. It's like, what? Why would you do that? What?
Besides Anna being the main, well, because there's it's unspoken, but like there almost was a moment where I was like, "Oh, are they hinting at some kind of vibe between the dad and Mr. Savage?" Because there was like a slight like touch on the shoulder that like Savage like kind of jumped at, but not in a way where it was like he was almost just like surprised that Anna's dad did that, but not in a way where he was like, "Oh, don't do that." But I was like, "Oh, has there something here?" I mean, he always is insulting your dad, like, "Oh, you're just a fucking janitor," but that also doesn't preclude like you could still be attracted to someone that you're like dressing down and being like, "Oh, you're lesser
Mm,
than me." If anything, that could be like further the attraction, where you're like, "Ah, this guy's scum, but I want him."
I didn't pick up on those vibes, but that's interesting. I could get on board with that. Um, to kind of bring it back around to what's it called? The Hollywood ending. One thing that I heard, because I listened to some people, some like YouTubers talk about this movie a little bit, and I feel like there's nothing worse than a horror YouTuber at this point. Listen to I won't say who it is, but I listened to a 45-minute review of this movie and it was painfully boring. So I hope this episode at least has some fucking life to it and can be the definitive fun listen for Anna and the Apocalypse.
I mean, we had Santa Claus on the episode, so I think
We
like we're
did.
already winning.
Yeah, we did. That is a good point. We're miles ahead of everybody who's covered this now. But I heard like a couple people make this statement saying that Hollywood ending was foreshadowing, like to them, that they're like, this is clear that it's a song meant to foreshadow that this movie's not going to end happy. It's going to end in tragedy. And it's like, well, yeah, it could be serving that purpose. To me, the song rang more as a like a high school angst, how you could be
Yeah.
in high school and everything feels like the end of the world and people are having relationship issues or there's
The
drama.
crush you have feels like the most you're like, "I will never love anyone else." Like, I will not
Mhm.
get over this, and this will be the most important attraction to anyone I ever have in my life.
Yeah, and while it feels like it could be saying both things. I felt more like, okay, this is, yeah, the High School Musical song that we're getting, where high school feels like the most important time in your life, and the world feels like it's ending every time something goes wrong, and one character is struggling with like identity and a project that's supposed to express who they are, and one character's having issues with faculty and also relationship issues. It's, it, the little things feel so big, and that's more of what the song represented to me, I felt.
I agree with that. I mean, it could be both, but if anything, at this point, I'm still feeling like, oh yes, we're firmly in like High School Musical territory. So I'm still not, even though I know the zombies are coming. Like I'm like, well, the movie's not gonna get that dark. Like I'm still in that mindset at this point where I'm like, yeah, yeah, but the zombie stuff is probably just gonna be mostly aesthetic, and like everyone's gonna be fine. Like I'm not thinking like, oh, this is ending tragically.
Yeah. I really didn't know what direction the movie was gonna take. Part of me was actually convinced that they were going to find a way for our characters to save the world. It felt like it
I
was
thought there was
gonna
going
do
to be a
that.
cure any moment, like that they,
Mhm.
because you even see like there's like, oh, the scene where they're seeing the selfies of people who got evacuated. So it's like, okay, so we've already, the idea of people can get out of this, but then also like, are they going to probably come up with a cure? I don't know. It was like it seemed like, yeah, I just kept, maybe that was me just coping or deluding myself, but I was just like, yeah, I don't know. This movie's not gonna be like the world actually ended. Like they'll figure something out.
And we'll get into what happens at the ending, but I feel like this movie does leave us off in an interesting place. But yeah, we end up encountering our first zombie around this time. I think maybe it's Breakaway or Hollywood Ending. There's a scene or a shot where Anna's walking through a hallway and some kids are coughing and one kid's like clawing at a wall. And I was like, okay, I think those are like sick teenagers that are going to become zombies at some point. It seemed like a funny little background detail.
It's interesting that I mean, I'm not gonna like be like CinemaSins ding for the mood, but like they kind of pick and choose how fast people are like fully zombified. I feel like depending on for dramatic effect, because there's characters that turn like so fast, like in a later segment, and then like for other characters, you're like, okay, well they're gonna be human long enough to like do like a, an emotional goodbye or something, or but then and then like the kids there in the hallway are like, oh, are they fully zombied yet? Because I guess they're not, they haven't, they're just like midway there, which they, I like I said, I'm not like clocking that as like an incongruity, because like I feel like a lot of zombie things like futz with the, how does the infection actually work? I don't really care at the end of the day. Like it's just a means to an end.
The Wreck movies do something similar. In the first or the second one, they establish that your blood type will determine how fast the
The
infection,
inspection
yeah,
coming this fall.
how fast the infection takes hold of you. And then as the sequels go on, it almost seems like they forgot that they established that. And then there's just no logic to how when people turn or the rate or speed to when people turn, someone will get bit and they'll be like, we have to kill them immediately. They're going to turn. And I'm like, well, you don't know his blood type. You said the blood type kind of
Yeah,
determines
so
that.
we're doing 28 days later rules now, like they turned immediately. Like what is this?
Yeah, and then some people, it just seems like that franchise, I mean, the directors do split off, and maybe that's the issue, but it seems like they forget their own rules by movie 2 and 3, for better or for worse. Mostly for worse, even though I didn't hate Rec 3 or 4.
I still gotta watch 3 and 4, but like I do like, I can, if so, like I'm just interested in the movie I'm watching being good and entertaining. So like if it's to the purpose of like furthering that, if something wants to kind of like negate its own rules, like I'm okay. It's kind of like how you do it. Like if it's like so blatant where I'm like, this doesn't make any sense of what you've done. It seems like you forgot about that. Then it can be sloppy. But sometimes it's like, okay, this feels like a choice that you're just like, well, I don't know. We're not going to make that a hard rule. But again, like for this movie, like the rules I'm not like clocking that hard for zombie, because especially like I said this early on, I'm like, how serious is the zombie stuff gonna be? It's just gonna be kind of playful, right? Like no one's getting seriously hurt. Like that's still my mindset this early on.
Yeah, what's weird about the Wreck movies is Wreck 2, especially, is such a rules movie. It's a movie that sets up so many rules. And then
Yeah.
3 and 4 is like, we're going to carry over stuff from Wreck except for the rules. We can leave those behind. Characters, they can come on, we'll reference everything that's happened, but the rules, those can stay in Wreck 2. And
Warren
which is
Beatty, the rules don't apply.
it's kind of disappointing because Rec 2 is my favorite, but I do enjoy the experiences of Rec 3 and
Rec
2 of
2 rules. Like you guys had a
yeah.
great episode on that one, but also just shout out that movie for that's an example of a sequel going in a it's not like a complete 180 because they tease that stuff at the end of one that it is like, spoilers for the Wreck movies, but it's like demonic in nature. So you like it's not like that they pull that idea out of their ass, but then to fully embrace that into in like such a unique way where I'm like, oh, we're like in like Evil Dead territory now. It's like that made it like really fun.
Yeah, I loved Rec 2. Guys, go watch that movie if you haven't. It's fucking
Also
such
on
a
Tubi.
special movie.
Most horror movies, low budget horror movies, if you want to find them, they're probably on Tubi.
They are. But yeah, so after like Hollywood ending and all of that, Steph and Anna have a moment in the parking lot. Steph's like locked out of her car, and we know that Anna's mom is dead at this point, but Steph kind of drops a line like, "Oh, at least you don't have a mom that's constantly getting on your case." Steph is
Oops!
basically,
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot your mom's dead. Shit.
yeah, yeah, it does really have that vibe, and it's such a weird thing to say to somebody. I mean, her parents have basically left her behind so they can
She's in a
vacation.
holdover situation,
Yeah, you
kind
took the
of.
words right out of my mouth. Yeah, it's she was left behind, and then Anna basically bumps into a zombie, so it's like, okay, we're gonna be it feels very Shaun of the Dead again, just this total everybody that we're following being totally oblivious to the zombie infection happening around them.
Oh, especially by the time we get to turning my life around, that feels straight out of the sequence of like when he wakes up hungover the next day and like there's like wreckage all around him and he's just going to the corner shop. He does not notice that the world has ended. Like that's very much the vibe that the and I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, is the whole movie gonna be like they don't know that this is going on? And it's not. But like early on, they do get like some good comedic mileage out of that.
Even before they get to like the full-on zombie outbreak, there's one or no, two musical numbers that I thought were like genuinely funny. There's the penguin dance that they're doing together. I
I
think the
chuckled at
song
that.
I did too. Yeah, it's called the Fish Rap, and Mr. Savage is just like talking about how these kids are incompetent. He's like, you can't leave them to do anything themselves. And I was like, I agree, Mr. Savage. But then Lisa, she's played by Marley Sue, I think that's her
Yeah.
name, and she gets this sexy Santa song that I mean, I don't know how you felt about that. I thought that was like pretty funny. There's like these like half naked teenage boys that come out and start dancing. Everybody either looks uncomfortable. There's an older lady in the background who like cracks a smile at one point, then goes back to being like straight faced and serious. I thought that scene was pretty great.
I thought it was fun, and then it's always just fun to see like someone who presents themselves as like straight laced and like a proper person be flustered at so like when Savage starts being like, oh, I never at the performance. It's just funny to see someone who's so uptight be like taken aback by something like that. And it's also because it's like she's a teenager. It seemed like the audience is like all adults. Like there's like the awkwardness of that too.
So I want to go ahead and read some of the lyrics from this song. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to just pick out a couple. There's a lack of presence in my stocking, and my chimney needs a good unblocking. Let me know if you're feeling frozen stiff. My fire's burning hot for you. Before you take a nap, let me sit upon your lap. I've warmed your milk and made your favorite sack, so come over and unload your sack. And then, what does she say at the end? Like, "Come on, Santa, give it to me."
That's so
It's
good. I
yeah, it's a well-written song,
I'm
I
and
think.
I'm curious about, like, how like, are the credited writers, like, they wrote the song, or is that someone else who's in the credit? Like, I'm just curious, like, who actually came up with, like, the lyrics for these songs, because whoever did a really good job.
Roddy Hart and Tommy Riley, they're the credited writers for at least this song.
Okay, so, I mean, it's safe to assume they probably did other songs, if not all the other songs.
Yeah, and then, of course, the actress who sang on it is also credited. Yeah, great song, funny bit. The lyrics are really well written. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. And at that same point, Savage is hearing a bunch of banging on the gymnasium doors, but there's no zombies there. There's just traces of blood left over.
I thought he was gonna be, like, an early kill or something. I wasn't not expecting them to, like, hold him off as, like, a last act villain or something, so I was like, "Oh, well, he's just gonna be some stupid, stuffy guy who, like, uh, eats it early to kinda establish the threat," but no, he there's no one there when he opens the door.
I would have been cool if he died pretty early on. I I didn't really need him as a villain. He worked for me up until maybe the last third of the movie. Then I was kind of the movie started to lose me a little bit when he becomes a bit of the main focus.
I get what you're saying. I don't have like because like I like the scenes that we get from like Anna and her dad that result from Mr. Savage like going crazy, but I'm like, could we have gone there another way? Like, do we need? And I'm not again. I mean, like zombie things often have human villains, and it's not like unheard of. It's just that his turn is so drastic, and I know like in musicals everything is like kind of heightened, so I can go along with it to a certain degree, but like he becomes like such a cartoon villain
Yeah.
that it felt like I was like, oh well, if the rest of the movie is like Shaun of the Dead, then like he feels like a villain out of, I don't know if you ever played any of the like Dead Rising games, but the like boss battles in that are like humans have gone crazy, like they just call them psychos, and like they're so over the top. It's like, so it doesn't seem like that this person was ever rational at ever any point.
Yeah, I agree. I have played the first Dead Rising game actually. I've found those games to be pretty fun, very difficult though.
Oh, they're hard because of the timer makes it hard to get around, but yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, that and like Dead Island, I think that was a very difficult zombie game as well.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah, I didn't buy his villain turn too much either. It felt a little over the top, a little fast. I agree with you when you were saying it felt cartoonish.
Maybe make it more personally motivated if that's the direction you need to go, because it kind of just seems like he's just the thing is like they decide they're gonna leave and they don't need him anymore, and he's just like, but I'm the headmaster.
Yeah,
Like you can tell from the way he says it that like, oh, he's gonna snap or something, but I'm like, but that's it, that's the only thing that like is making him like, obviously he already looks down on these people, so this is like pent up like resentment, I guess, but like yeah, you could see that better, like, or make it even more overtly like a class thing, because he's already talks down to the dad so much that like maybe that would be more interesting of a villain, where it's just like the upper class snobbery, which is in the character. It just doesn't feel like that's the reason that he becomes evil.
yeah, the headmaster thing isn't a strong enough thing to like hitch your wagon to. It really doesn't fully work for me or seem believable. And I know this is like a horror musical, but it just a little bit more work could have been done to make his character just stronger, to make his motivation stronger, the reasons for his actions, the things he does. I mean, they could have made his actions a bit stronger too. Him turning everybody in the cafeteria, keeping one person alive. It felt so cartoon villain without a real purpose, just creating a villain just to create the villain.
Or if we see that escalation happen, because we just cut away of him being like, "I'm the head man," because they wanna have that be the surprise of they go into the cafeteria and you're like, "Oh shit, he lost it." But, like, if we see more of that building, just yeah, add more steps between that we actually see, but, I mean, this movie doesn't, need to be, like, longer, like, it is, like, an hour 30 minute, so, like, I'm all for the tight 90, but then if you're trying to keep the story that tight and tidy, then maybe you just don't need a human villain, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we really needed it. Um, but yeah, so after the turning my life around sequence, again, one we both agree was just fantastic. I almost want to keep talking about that for another 20 minutes, but I
I
know
mean,
we
it builds too because, like, obviously, like we said, it's doing the bit of, like, all this carnage is like, basically, the Dawn of the Dead openings happening behind her, and she does not know, about it,
Mhm.
and one of the funniest ones are the girls with the backpacks who, like, get, like, because one zombie, like, sees Anna and, like, starts making a beeline for her, and then there's these girls with backpacks, they're, like, swinging them out, like, they're out of
Yeah.
focus, just, like, swinging their backpacks at the zombie. I was like, "That's funny."
After the musical number ends, we snap back into reality and they encounter their first zombie. We're kind of full on in Night of the Living Dead mode with the two people and the fucking, their discovery of the zombie outbreak. And it's a dude dressed as like Frosty the Snowman. Anna uses a seesaw to decapitate it. And they're both like kind of freaked out by this. I like that they don't lean into the comedy and be like, "Oh, that was fucking weird." They acknowledge it's zombies. We get that out of the way. There's no real toying like, "What is going on here?" We don't know. They've seen horror movies. I
Like, they've heard of zombie culture and movies exist, so yeah, that saves time that you don't have to bullshit around about that. But yeah, that's almost like an early indication that they are going to take the zombie stuff seriously, that it's not immediately like, the only joke there really is, like, the grossness and suddenness of the kill and them getting, like, like, John's kinda, like, just, like, shell-shocked, like, "Ugh," all the blood over like, he's freaked out, but they are kind of playing that moment for the drama of it. So it's like, oh, so this is gonna kind of walk that line of the zombie stuff will be a little serious, maybe.
Mhm. And yet basically like our characters are split off into two groups. There's a group of people who are taking sanctuary at the school like we mentioned. It's Lisa, Mr. Savage and Anna's dad and a bunch of just random people who don't really matter.
Oh, and
And
Chris's
then
grandma is there too.
oh, didn't really clock that. My bad. Uh,
Well, it's just that I just noticed it because not Honora kept saying like, "Oh, don't worry, Grand, we're gonna get you help." Like she's like, "Oh, my heart, I'm old."
yeah, good character. Always love that. Rec 4 has a character like that, and she's not annoying at all in that movie. Um,
Yeah, I
but
feel like real zombie apocalypse, you just gotta kill grandma. I'm sorry, she's gonna slow you
yeah,
down.
throw her overboard. At least in the case of Rec 4, that one takes place on a boat. Spoilers. Um, but so yeah, and then the other group basically takes sanctuary at the bowling alley, and one thing I really enjoyed is there's a scene where two of them are in the ball pit and they're talking about like, do you think Robert Downey Jr. is infected? Ryan Gosling, Taylor Swift. One of the characters like, Tay Tay is not infected.
Like,
Tay
don't
Tay
why
is
would why
not
would you
infected.
why would you joke about like, I like how serious he gets about that,
Yeah,
and the fact
and
that I mean, I'm not a Taylor Swift person, so I don't know that culture, but I've never heard anyone call her Tay Tay, so that's the attitude, the humor of it.
yeah, I feel like I may have heard that, but one thing I kind of like really enjoyed too about this movie came out in 2017 over in the UK, 2018 over here, and the three people they mention, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Taylor Swift, people very relevant in that like time, but I would argue they're all more relevant and more powerful now at this point in time. So I was like, okay, good references. Like
Yeah, they're not that dated, like, or it's not dated at all really, because it's like you said, like, they're still they're still relevant now.
Yeah, RDJ, post Oscar win, coming back as Doomsday. Ryan Gosling, post Barbie movie, post fucking Oscar nomination, I think, for that performance, and upcoming Star Wars movie, and Taylor Swift post Eras tour. It's just like, yeah, they're all at the height of their power right now. And they were arguably some of the most like relevant celebrities back then. So I just thought that was a cool little, it was a reflection moment that I had. There's a moment later where they mention a couple more celebrities who don't seem like they're, I mean, Beyonce, Miley Cyrus, and Rihanna, both pretty relevant, but I felt like they really nailed it with RDJ, Ryan Gosling, and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, the Beyonce Rihanna one isn't as strong, and I just like that sequence in the ball pit better. I kind of just wish Chris as a character had more, because that's kind of just his thing, is that like he's like internet like social media obsessed, and like has, so like he's the one who's going to make like the pop culture references. But I I don't know. I maybe could have used more so that when what eventually happens towards the end could have landed strong. Like, I cared about what happened at the end because I was more invested in his girlfriend than him, but, like,
Mhm.
I kind of I don't know, Chris didn't completely connect for me as a character, and I don't know what that, because it's like, I'm not saying take away the pop culture stuff, it's like, maybe just add more to, I mean, I think that's part of the, like, thing that they're saying, because like, his assignment was like, "Oh, you need to, like, have something real in your video," and, like, all his things are, like, like, he's just referencing pop culture, but I'm like, "Yeah," but then the character feels like there's just, like, nothing real there almost.
Well, I feel like that Sexy Santa song too does really endear you to Lisa a little bit. I'm not even kidding. I feel like
Oh,
you really,
I'm pro Lisa, I'm just saying, like, her
yeah.
boyfriend should be more
No,
interesting.
I agree. I was agreeing with you. Like Lisa, I think is a way better established character. Like they do better work in making you care about that character more than they do
Maybe
Chris.
Chris just needs us, because he doesn't really get a song that's his. He's in other songs, right? He doesn't have a song where he gets to be like, "This is my deal," in song form.
Yeah, I don't think he does. He might be one of the only leads who doesn't get a spotlight musical moment because even Steph uh, has her moments to shine. But when they're at the bowling alley, Steph and Anna are in the bathroom, and the old bowling alley manager, she's zombified now. She goes and attacks them, and they smash her face in with a toilet seat. And then this like wedding party of zombies bursts through the wall.
Just burst through the wall. Because it's funny, like, how zombies are, can, you make them like really fragile in the sense of like, you need to be able to burst their heads and make them like easy to kill in a certain sense, but then also they're strong enough to burst through a wall.
Yeah, I've never really thought about it that way. That wall did look pretty weak. I was wondering, was there like a wedding chapel on the other side of that? Why was there a Christmas wedding party going on right next to this bowling alley?
I mean, maybe they were on the other side of town and like they'd just been wandering that way for a while. Yeah, it's like, where did these guys come from?
Yeah, because I mean, the way they busted through that wall, it felt like they were busting through an interior wall. They weren't coming through like the outside of a building because that was fucking crazy the way they pour into that bathroom.
Yeah.
But that leads us into what I think was a pretty awesome action sequence with some great music playing underneath it. It made me kind of wish that we got a musical action sequence, a little bit of a hybrid in this moment, at least. But I
I kept
really,
expecting that to happen, but, I still, like you said, like, I think this is probably the best zombie action that they do, not that because there's other, like, kills and zombie action later in the movie, but in terms of just, like, how it's staged, I think just, like, a bowling alley is, like, a cool setting too, to, like, fight zombies.
yeah, and I guess they do a zombie killing musical number. It's just not as cool as this. It doesn't feel as flashy as it could have been. It's the Soldiers at War song or whatever that Nick gets when he's introduced.
Which is fun, like, that one's fun, but also, though that's not as, like, creative of, like, zombie fighting, that they're like they kind of trying to come up with like funny or unique ways during that song. We're like, oh, one of his guys is using watermelons or something to kill
Yeah.
zombies, and then like there's also the like it's almost like a fucking Looney Tunes bit that like one's pulling like meat on a string and then he just bashes them with the bat when he comes. I'm like, you could just bash it with the bat. You don't need the bait.
One thing I did like about Nick's song is it did kind of show a little bit of the versatility in musical numbers. This one is like a rock anthem. I like the falsetto he kind of goes in. I mean, vocally it's the weakest song. I don't think the actor who plays Nick is the strongest singer, but that kind of adds a little bit of a charm to the number, I think.
It's almost informing the character because he is trying too hard. Like Nick himself
Yeah.
is like really wants to impress the girls and like come off as like some alpha. And then later we find out, like, the trauma that he's like gone through. So that it's like that he's overcompensating here. And like the song kind of tells us that his eyes are extremely blue, like to the point where I'm like, are those contacts? But on his IMDb, those eyes are also that blue, so I don't know.
Baby blues. I really like the falsetto line that he sings where he's like, "The best form of defense is attack." It's like, there's, it's a good. All the songs are not all of them. Most of the songs are like super super catchy. But yeah, I feel like the bowling alley sequence is like 10 times better that like when it comes to action than that musical number. But even like uh, comedically, I mean, the music in that bowling alley sequence is great. I've already said it, but comedically, there's a moment that I really like where it's Anna and John's like, "Okay, on three, three," and then Anna throws the table, and he's like,
Yeah.
"I said after three," and then she's like, "You said on three. Think, think about your words," and he's like, "Think about your words." I was like, that's just a great fucking character moment. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun banter between you buy that they're best friends, like, that they have that shorthand and even if they not on the same page in that moment, but they're still in sync in terms of, like, emotionally, like, where they're at, that they can still kinda, like, razz each other in this moment while they're fighting for their lives.
Mhm. And then in between, like, the bowling alley action and Nick's, like, rock anthem and us meeting him, there's, like, a song that I kind of appreciated. I was trying to think of what it reminded me of, but I couldn't. It's got, like, a nice vibe to it, though, very atmospheric, in the vocal performances, but it's the people at the bowling alley and the people at the cafeteria almost kind of singing a song to each other. And it's about, I think, not having internet connection or something or needing to be able to communicate with people, but it's called Human Voice. They're like, I
Yeah.
need a human voice. It's like, again, super catchy. This almost feels like one of like a more low key kind of song or one that it,
Well, I get what you're saying because the energy of everyone is like they're not defeated, but the song itself is kind of like about lack of communication or being cut off. So like they are feeling like there is starting to be a creeping hopelessness to the scenario because it goes unsaid, but like some of the characters are like their ultimate goal is going to be we need to get to the school, but some of them aren't expecting to find anyone alive, and like they're not acknowledging it at that point, but especially what's her name, Steph. I feel like she's the one who's like totally being like, oh, everyone I care about's like dead.
speaking of stuff too, we kind of like glossed over her a little bit in the bowling alley scene. She gets a lot of great moments in that action. I feel like that whole sequence really gets you on board with Steph, and at least me.
She's cool.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
yeah, she's badass. I was into her from the beginning, but I like the little dance she does when she like saves Chris, I think, from being killed by a zombie.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
like
she
rolls a
does like a little
bowling ball.
little move. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very charming. This movie is just delightful. Yeah, after Nick and his like squad join the crew, Nick is basically like we have to cut through this this Christmas tree warehouse or something, and everyone's saying this means certain death, but Nick's like, this is the coolest, baddest way we gotta go through here. And it's already alluded to at certain points. We kind of skipped over it that Nick's had some potential issues with his dad. His dad is in the military, he's away or something like that. And so that's stuff that's going to come into play later. But like at this point, I mean, I'm like not on board with Nick or his addition to the crew at this point.
It seems like he's a problem. Like, I'm like, you guys should maybe not be listening to him.
And this is where the movie is going to start to lose me a little bit. But we get an action sequence where these zombie elves start attacking everybody, and Nick's crew is just eliminated immediately. They're like, we're not even going to spend time with them.
They're the ones who I'm talking. Who they turn like so fast. Like he like rounds a corner and they're already zombies, and I'm like, whoa, okay. It almost feels like they had been bit before they went into the place because I'm like, how did you turn so fast?
Yeah, one of them was secretly bit, and then he bit the other two, and they're like, all right, we're going to turn and not tell anybody. We're going to turn.
They decide that like, yeah, let's just turn over here. It'll be a really good. He'll round the corner. He'll be so surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, they get eliminated. And I think this is too, like shortly after that, where
Where we lose
John
John.
gets bit. Yeah,
I was shocked
me too.
because I was like, well, John and Anna is endgame, like because that's like the arc of you expect of these things where it's like, yeah, the friend's pining for the girl and she won't, it's kind of unrequited, but then they realize the worth of like that they do love each other and stuff, and it's like, no, he's just gonna fucking eat it, and he does get to like do a heroic like thing, but when he gets bit in the hand, I almost start like maybe it's just me coping, and because I like John, like, okay, well, they're gonna like cut his hand off, or like they're like
Uh-huh.
Evil Dead. They're gonna like fucking we got to just cut this off. They don't even consider any solutions like that. It's just like he just decides of like, okay, I'm gonna shield her, back her out of here, and then fucking give myself to the horde.
And maybe it's because Rec 3 does something similar, but I was just like, they're going to cut off the arm. It's the only way. We have to save John. And they don't. And that's not even the worst thing. John gets fully eaten by the end of it. He gets a real, like, shitty ending. I felt pretty bad for him. And it was sad to lose him. After his death, that's where the movie really loses me. And we, like,
Because Anna and Nick have like they have a history that's alluded to.
and they have a nice character moment right before the death. That didn't even clue me into the fact that he was gonna die.
Yeah, yeah, no, it feels shitty because like we're not I mean, I like Anna and I like Steph, but and Nick does get like a nice like emotional moment, but I'm not into the Anna Nick dynamic as much. Like I to me there's not really even a like yeah, there's like, oh, they allude to like, okay, so they hooked up in the past or something, but I'm like, I don't really care about them as a thing. So yeah, like I was I was rooting for John and Anna, so now John's out here. I don't know, fucking just kill everyone now.
It felt like a really weird route to take. Usually well, maybe that's what they meant by Hollywood ending. John and Anna aren't gonna get together, but they have this moment where Anna's saying how she's still gonna travel and John is still gonna go to art school, and they're gonna both live their lives. And it almost plays as a way of Anna rejecting John in that moment.
Because reiterates like, John, you're my best friend. Like she's like really throwing the friend zone in his face a little bit, of like, you're my best friend, John. Like it's like nothing else.
Yeah, and then to go and kill John off and basically make Nick Anna's love interest for the rest of the movie. And, the movie does a little bit to get us more on Nick's side. They reveal that Nick's dad actually didn't go off into the service. He was turned, and his dad told him, "You need to be a man now."
He had to put his dad down like that, and that's a good scene, and it gives him a good moment later, like when he tells Anna to like not do the same to her dad, like that's good like emotional stuff, but like yeah, I'm just not in them as a unit. I'm like, it's just Anna and John had so much juice. Like, even if it did subvert the thing where it's like, yeah, they're not gonna get I don't need every movie to do that. You just like, yeah, they could remain friends, and I would have been fine with that. But then to where it's like not only does she reject him, and then he immediately sacrifices him. He kind of has a look on his face as he does it too, where he's just like, well, guess that's what I gotta do. Like he's just like resigned to it, where he doesn't even really question. Where he's like, all right, well, Anna has to live, so fucking let's get her out of here.
Here, I could say the movie, like, stops working for me for the next, like, 15 to 20 minutes, maybe. They end up going into the school. Mr. Savage is in full villain mode. We get a little bit more of some, like, action set pieces, some maneuvering around zombie type of work.
Is his song the one that you say like doesn't you don't like?
Yeah, that's the one of the only ones where I was thinking I won't put this in my playlist because I was adding songs from this into my playlist, and this one I was thinking not gonna make it. I don't know if I'll revisit this one again. I mean, what are your thoughts on his song?
Well, in a vacuum, like I like his like maniacal energy. It just feels like just like we said about the turn itself. Like I'm like this is like too out of nowhere. Like that you haven't really earned this. Like the other songs, yeah, do have a heightened emotionality to them, but it feels believable in terms of like where those characters' minds are at. And I'm like, I guess I just don't know Mr. Savage's mind that well because like this song just feels it just feels like a villain from another thing that, like, would be singing this song.
I think a better move is you axe this song and its place that it has in this musical. You give Mr. Savage a song earlier to kind of set up his motivation and his villain turn and make it like as good as Be Prepared from The Lion King. I know that's a hard mark to hit, but aim for something like that. His song didn't even seem like it was reaching for catchy or reaching for a good vocal performance, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with any of that. I think that's actually would be a good solve of, like, earlier on. That would make the villain turn make more sense if you can sell it in song form of, like, what his motivations and his deal are, then when he finally does, like, snap, it will at least have been seeded, you know, but Uh, yeah, it doesn't as is, it does feel like the movie has made a turn that because I just wasn't I like I said, like when he's like, I'm the headmaster, it's like, okay, well, nothing good's gonna happen now, but I just didn't expect we were gonna go straight to he let all the things in. Like I in my mind was expect like, okay, we're gonna keep cutting back to the cafeteria as they like make their way back there, and then we see things like degrade there like over time, but it's like no, he just like let the zombies in.
Yeah, and I was kind of expecting to, at a certain point, since we had lost John, that we were going to find out that Anna's dad and Lisa had both been turned. That's not the case. We've already revealed Anna's dad is held hostage. Lisa was hiding in a janitor closet or something.
Yeah, because when they go into the cafeteria at first, I thought that was the beat of like, oh, they're all turned. Like he fucking took everyone off the board.
Might have been more interesting if that was the route. Even though I didn't mind Lisa coming back into the fold, her hiding felt more believable than Mr. Savage just deciding to keep Anna's dad alive. But yeah, we get some funny moments with all of this zombie maneuvering. I really like there's a moment where Steph is trying to go and do something and Chris and Lisa are playing
Oh,
distraction, but
she has to get her keys because
yeah.
he took her keys, and that's the plan of like, we need my car so then we can get out of here.
And Chris and Lisa have this tinsel and they're waving it around and it's just making no noise. It's not causing a
I love
distraction.
that. Yeah.
Me too. It was a really charming moment. And the moment where they're hiding behind the TV, I thought that was okay. I don't know if I believe zombies would sit there and buy TV, like would sit there and watch TVs, but won't notice the people crawling on the floor. They'll be super oblivious to that.
It's just like whatever the loudest sound is what they're gonna be drawn to, because they don't get discovered until the video stops, right? Like, that's when the zombies are like, "Hey, There's
Yeah,
people here.
wait a minute. And yeah, Chris and Lisa both get bit. I was kind of shocked by that, but that's when I started thinking, okay, this is gonna have a surprisingly bleak ending for a Christmas movie. But yeah, I was totally fine with these two characters getting taken off the board. I'm like, let's get them out of here. Focus more on Anna and Steph.
Once you've taken John off the board, I am like, there's still good stuff to come in the movies, like especially like the scene with her dad. But like, I'm a little emotionally checked out in a way where I'm like, yeah, whatever, just turn everyone. Fuck these guys.
I agree. There's less of an investment I have when we lose John. Him and Anna as a duo were this movie.
It almost should have been like everyone else. They lose everyone else, and then it's just her and John. Like that's like to me. I mean, maybe that's more predictable. But I don't know. Like that's what I'm invested in them.
I mean, I would have been fine with more predictable because the other choices of deaths they have are predictable, like eliminating Nick's faceless crew or all of the nameless people that are in the cafeteria.
I thought Nick was gonna die when he starts to reprise like his song, and he's like,
Mhm.
because emotionally it does kind of almost feel like he's ready to die too. Like he's just bore his heart out to to Anna about like what happened. But although it that the scene works emotionally, but it almost is a weird beat of like where she calls him out, like, "You've never done anything not for yourself," and he's like, "I killed my dad." Like that almost feels like the start of another conversation. I'm like, well, hold on, let's
Yeah.
finish talking about your selfishness first. You're like cheating a little bit by just bringing up your trauma.
Yeah, exactly. And also that happened like what, pretty recently. You've been an asshole for a very long time before the whole I had to kill my dad
Yeah,
thing.
so you're just like not an asshole anymore because you did want is that not selfish? I mean, your dad asked you to do it, so you're like, I did his request, his final wishes.
Yeah, but it also probably kept you alive too in the end. If you didn't die, if you didn't kill him, you probably would have died. So kind of selfish either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they end up like freeing Anna's dad, and Anna's dad gets in like a fist fight with Mr. Savage on stage, and Anna's dad dangles Mr. Savage over like this pit of zombies and is like, I'm not going to kill you. Savage double crosses him and tries to like almost literally stab him in the back. But Anna uses her sharp candy cane weapon that she has to cut down a Christmas star to knock Savage into the pit of zombies. So he's dead. But Anna's dad is also bit. I didn't catch at what point he would have ended up bit.
I think it's like during the tussle with because before he has Savage dangling over like where the zombies are, he's against the bars where the zombies are reaching up. So like one of them just like grabbed his ankle and bit it really quickly in that like second that he was against the bars on the stage, I guess.
Yeah, I I'll believe whatever you tell me at this point.
I mean, I feel like the staging of that sequence could like the motion of where we get to with Anna and her dad works, but it's like yeah, I don't know if Mr. Savage was one a better villain, but then also that sequence could have been because it just feels weird of like yeah okay because there's two moments of like he's not worth it, don't kill him, and then he fucking tries to get them both times, but it's kind of underwhelming. Like he just breaks a bottle and he's like like I don't there should have been like some if you're gonna do that like do like a really you're on a stage already so like do like some kind of theatrical like I don't know, there's swords there for some reason. They have a sword fight.
Yeah, or do something maybe a little bit more musical. You could bring it back to a nice musical number. But yeah, Anna's dad gets turned. He's bit, and I do like that the last things they say to each other is "Merry Christmas." This is a true Christmas. It's not "I love you." It's "Merry Christmas."
Yeah, he's a good actor, the dad. Like he the sells the trade and then it just but I I like and also don't like because like you when you have a movie of like okay, your goal and quest is to get here, like it's just get to the cafeteria, she needs to reunite with her dad, and then the dad ends up dying anyway. I there's I do like stories like that because then it's almost just more about the emotional journey. But then I also, because I'm still sore about the John thing, I'm like, so John died for nothing
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Fucking, we didn't even accomplish our goal. Like fucking, so why did John die?
Yeah, if there's no John, this whole mission's failed. You might as well have just ended the movie when he died.
They really blew it with John. Let's just go back and redo it. The movie's great up to that point. Let's just shoot another ending.
Time to remake it. We'll remake it. So Anna and her dad have this heartfelt goodbye. They say Merry Christmas to each other, and then they're out into the parking lot where they end up basically getting surrounded by zombies, and we get, I think, the last musical dance or the musical number. It's called "I Will Believe." This is the last one in the movie, right? Or
Well, it does it count the one that there's like a song playing as like they're kind of driving off at the end, and we check back in on like everyone who's been turned, but they're not singing it. It's kind of just a song that's from what I remember. It's just like
yeah,
a
it's a
song.
reprisal of Hollywood Ending, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, you're talking about as they're driving away.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember much of I Will Believe, but I think it was a pretty good song. Maybe it was kind of catchy. It didn't stick with me.
I'll have to re-listen to it, but I don't remember disliking any one. I mean, other than the Headmaster Savage one, just kind of just slid off me. I didn't have a reaction to that, but like other than that, like yeah, I'm just gonna assume it was good based on the merits of all the other songs. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, I
and
agree.
it's emotionally, they're kind of almost like ready to die at that point because they're like they feel like, oh, they're surrounded, and it's like, oh, I guess this is it. That's kind of like the vibe of the scene.
And I thought that's what was gonna happen because Steph ends up pulling up in her car. I forgot that she was alive. I didn't remember her or the car. When that car pulled up, it took me a minute. I started thinking, who could that be? Who who has whose car could that be?
It's Anthony
Who
Ramos.
Yeah. It's a callback to the These Guys Got Juice Twisters episode. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it was fun. Like, kind of like we've already established that she kind of is self-celebratory in some way. Like when she kills the zombie, did the little dance. Like she kind of like makes like kind of does a little cheer for herself when she pulls up in the car. She's like, "Saved your life again" or something.
Yeah, yeah. I that She's just, man, so I guess like losing John didn't fully like tank the movie because we still have Steph. Thank God we didn't lose her. Thank God she
It's
made it to the
it's
end.
just that Nick is not a replacement for John, so it's like
Yes.
you can't do if John's off the table, then make the romance be Steph and Anna. It's like they're gonna get together.
Yeah, just make Anna bisexual. It's not that far of a leap, you
Yeah,
know?
whatever. She's experimenting. She's young.
Yeah, it could work. Nick is just a little dull, kind of.
Even her dad is like, "I don't love your choice of boy." Like that's one of the last things he says before they say Merry Christmas to each other. Nick shows up and he's like, "Yeah, I don't love your choice of boyfriend." I'm like, agreed.
Yeah, they're like his character could have used another pass in the writing part of the process. Um but yeah, her like gesture and her being like "Saved your life again." That's great. I love that. And so yeah, they hop in the car, they drive off, and a reprisal of a Hollywood Ending starts playing. And
But now it's sad because we remember everyone we've lost.
yeah, well, one thing I enjoyed about it, so uh, the lyrics really, there's lyrics that happen, I think, in the background of Hollywood Ending that aren't as present. And when the reprisal happens, the main chorus, like the main part of the chorus, kind of falls to the background a little bit. And we're getting a little bit of those extra filler lyrics in there. Not to like use filler as a negative term, but
No, I know what you mean.
yeah, I like the lyrics. I have them written here. It says, "This is not the story you've been dreaming of, the one where you get all you want. so stop your pretending. There's no such thing as a Hollywood ending. And like it's really drown out like this is not the story you've been dreaming of.
I think it's effective. I almost in my mind when they started doing that, I was like, "Oh," and we're cutting around to like everyone we lost. I was like, "Are they gonna start even though they've been turned, will break the reality and it'll be like that Magnolia scene where everyone starts singing." And I'm like, "Oh,
I
are they gonna join in now?"
I thought that's what was gonna happen. It cuts to John at one point and he's sitting there.
I would have been fine with John laying there and he starts singing because you're already kind of breaking because the fact that there's even still a physical body for John, I'm like, oh, I thought they like fucking tore him to piece. Like you even see like
Yeah.
bits of his guts like on the floor, so I'm like, oh, he looks intact, kind of.
Yeah, I would have been totally fine. And honestly, maybe I would have liked the movie more if all the zombies, everybody was in the reprisal of Hollywood ending. It would have totally worked for me.
Because you get to keep the bleak, the ending's still bleak, but then you just get a little bit of I don't know, it not soften the blow, but it would help me accept I still I need help moving on up over John. So, like, the movie would smooth it over for me.
Yeah, and so Steph says, "Where to next?" Then there's a big banner that says "Merry Christmas." It flies at the screen, and then we get a quick jump scare of a zombified Santa, and that's the movie, Anna and the Apocalypse. I enjoyed the ending. I really like where we left these characters, kind of bleak. It maybe would have been better if John was in that car and not Nick, or if John at least got to join in with the musical number. I think either of those would have made the ending a bit better. Losing John kind of holds this movie back a bit.
Yeah, if John stays alive or you do one of those things that we said of, like, he gets to join in the reprisal, then we can inch closer to, like, a 5. I'll be like, "Oh, well, this movie has everything."
I still really enjoyed it though, given all of that.
Oh yeah, I still would recommend it, and it's a great holiday watch. Like it did put me, despite the bleak ending. I mean, like I like bleak endings, so like and for it felt true to like the story we were watching. It just felt like they because like if you do a zombie comedy or a zombie musical, like you could just like not have any of the zombie elements be that serious or dramatic, but they decide to follow through on like, no, this is a zombie movie, so like we're gonna lose people and it's gonna have like that tone, which I appreciate. I also appreciate that about even if I would say this is a bleaker ending than Shaun of the Dead, even though people die at the end of Shaun of the Dead. But like that movie similarly follows through on the idea of like, no, you're gonna lose. Like people will die and get turned. Like the scene where he has to put down his mom when she gets turned is like really heartbreaking in Shaun of the Dead, and like kind of comes out of nowhere. Like you don't expect in a movie that had been so funny that you're gonna get something that dark. So like ending here felt right. I mean, it just like I was like, okay, yeah, they committed to the bit.
That they did. You got any final thoughts on Anne and the Apocalypse?
Justice for John.
Justice for John. I agree. Yeah, I think this movie's great. Great Christmas movie. It is filled with the Christmas spirit. I think I'm going to probably watch it around this time of year. I don't have a whole lot of Christmas movies that I just throw on. A lot of the times it's whatever's playing on TV. That's
Mm,
most of my Christmas movie intake. But I could see myself putting this one on once a year and enjoying the musical numbers. The musical numbers are so good. And I mean musically, it's not like they're breaking any ground or doing anything super creative, but it's just relentlessly catchy song after relentlessly catchy song, and the economy of musical is great in this one. It's way better than Wicked for Good, and I like the first Wicked movie a lot, but
yeah,
this just functions better as a musical.
this clears. I mean, it was weird when Dorothy shows up in this, and we like only see the back of her head, and like she it's kind of shoot her like Jesus in the Ben Hur movie, like where you never actually see her. And it was weird that like Dorothy was even in this, but other than that, like yeah, it's better than Wicked for Good.
Doug, thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for being one of the first guests on Morbid Curiosities.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, where can more people find some of your work?
If people want to follow me on the hell site, that's Twitter. They can follow me at the Doug Files. That's also my YouTube. And also on the podcast, these guys got juice. They got lots of cool stuff we've been doing over there. It just wrapped up our coverage of the leftovers. Gonna have some pluribus coverage. I mean, we have been covering pluribus, but we're gonna finish out the season on that. There's a Knives Out episode is going to be going up soon. Also going to probably be putting out a chair company episode. So there's a lot. Like even if it's like oh, it's the end of the year, probably taking it easy or something. It's like no, fucking putting out a lot of shit. So just follow over there.
Yeah, you guys can catch me on those Pluribus episodes too. Check out Pluribus on Apple TV. Great show. Yeah, go listen to me and Doug talk about that. Go listen to everything going on at These Guys Got Juice.
Hell yeah.
There's a plethora of content over there. It's so worthwhile. And yeah, Merry Christmas to the listeners. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for being along for this ride throughout this whole year. There's only going to be one or two more episodes coming out. I promise Rec 4 is going to be coming either at the very end of the year or at the very beginning of next year. Rec 4 is coming. And then there's going to be some kind of top 10 episode coming your guys' way next week, Monday, the last Monday of the year. So I'll know more details in the future. Keep on the lookout for that. And thank you guys for your support. And we've been Morbid Curiosities.
No such thing as a Hollywood ending. Merry Christmas. Oh, ho, ho, ho.